7%. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that Moscow will, supported by United States proposal for a ceasefire in Ukraine in principle, but sought a number of clarifications and conditions that appear to rule out a quick end to the fighting. However, the global trade war that has roiled financial markets and raised recession fears is escalating, with the U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday threatening to slap a 200% tariff on wine and other alcohol imports from Europe. The International Energy Agency has warned that global oil supply could exceed demand by around 600,000 barrels per day this year. That's because of growth led by the United States and weaker than expected global demand. Well, still in the oil space now, Nigeria's average daily crude oil production declined to 1.46 million barrels per day in February. This is according to the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. In its latest monthly markets report, the current output signifies a 4.8% decrease from the 1.53 million barrels per day that was recorded in January. And this is the first month-on-month output decline in the year. With the current production volume, the global oil body says Nigeria retained its position as the biggest oil producer on the continent, with Algeria taking second position, producing 912,000 barrels output. Now, let's talk about this and some other issues in the oil and gas area with the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Flame Academy and Consulting Limited, Mr. Oju Demeze. Mr. Demeze, good morning.
Morning, Amy. How are you doing today?
Good, and you?
We can see that, the world economy is, at some point of uncertainty, but I hope that things will settle out.
Well, we hope so, but I think the more worrying one for us would be this, seeing that oil output, just when we wanted to start rejoicing that FX,
2 million,
yes, because we have 2 million, so we saw from 1.5 plus of last month to 1.4. We don't know what's bringing this. Are there renewed activities, for instance, around the crude?
Well, it's a slight drop, so it could be accounted for production uncertainties and all of that. I don't see any major crisis causing this. The only concern we have right now is that with the issue they have in Rivers State, some people are already threatening that if somebody is removed illegally, Nigeria will suffer severe consequences. And what goes to my mind when they say that is that we will begin to disrupt our oil operations again. And I hope and pray that the president will use his wisdom to calm that storm in Rivers State. Yeah,
we do hope so. And there's, of course, also the issue with local refiners and crude for Naira policy and all of that. That's also been brewing. And the NNPC had said, well, the initial agreement is that it expires by the end of this month.
Yeah.
So, well, the chairman
availability is going to be a challenge because you know that Nigeria, quite unfortunately, had taken some loans in the past backed by our crude production. At the same time, it's very important that we supply crude to our major refiner right now. And of course, I'm sure we'll get on to that at some point, that we have other major refiners coming up. Our own Oando that's making waves outside Nigeria. I hope that that space will be opened up for people like Oando to also support Dangote to make sure we refine enough crude, whether they get supply from NNPC, crude oil here, or they have to get from the global market. By the way, we expect that the global oil prices might trend downwards over time.
Yeah, that's what they said. As Russia comes in with their
Russia is resolved, Hamas is already being resolved, and all those geopolitical tension around there, and obstacles in the Strait of Hormuz and other passageways for oil, you see the supply getting bigger. And of course, Donald Trump, my good friend, has promised that America will surely pump out more oil. I don't know how Nigeria will be affected by that, but I know that Abuja may not be very happy as oil prices may go down below our budget benchmark. But you and I will feel the impact in a lower pump price of petrol.
Okay, well, you mentioned Oando, and I think a couple of days ago we heard that they won the bid to run a refinery
Oando
in
is doing solidly well for
Tobago,
themselves.
and their shares have been dropping, but yesterday we saw there was a bit of a gain.
I will come to that. When investors don't understand some fundamental parameters for investing, they take short-term steps, and it tends to affect some companies negatively. But Oando, having gone beyond Nigeria now to get this, preferred bidding right for the Guacara refining
in Trinidad and Tobago.
asset, in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a great step, a boost of a show of confidence that Nigerian local companies are beginning to gain international recognition for their technical competence and all of that. And remember, Oando just acquired 100%, almost $1 billion of NAOC assets, AGIP, after you know it in Nigeria. Recently, that was the news last year, and that's a very great step they took in becoming a great player in the upstream sector of that, of the oil and gas sector. And that means that this company has a great power to make wealth in the future, to create, because the assets are huge, pipelines, oil wells, loading bays and all of that, gas plants and so many things, flow stations. All right, now they have also gone in the other side, the downstream, to strengthen their capacity to trade. Logistics, technicalities in oil trade, moving to the Caribbean. Strengthening the Afro-Caribbean collaborations.
We're hoping they will have a refinery in Nigeria first anyway.
The politics of Nigerian oil and gas.
Let's increase the mix.
They are going to get there, I assure you. What I see Oando doing is a deliberate step to increase the capacity, not just in one side of the sector, but downstream and upstream. Now they have settled with the upstream, even though the cash inflow for them will start coming soon. It's already showing in their results. And then now downstream, by doing this, they're going to have a very strong synergy with their productive capacity, so there will be an off-taker advantage. They have a refining capacity in Trinidad and Tobago, and they have upstream capacity down here. So, that way, the confidence people have in them, both in Africa and in fact globally, will go quite up. And before you know it, they may start being invited, because getting to Trinidad and Tobago is just like a contract that would have been given to an American or British company. They are getting it. So what am I saying here? The future of the company is looking very bright. When you talked about their share price going down from last year,
it's been dropping, but yesterday,
low, up. What's going on is that this company is going through a very tough investment stage where they have to spend money. So what they did was, instead of giving cash dividend to their shareholders, they offered stock dividend. That's what you call bonus shares, where they give out their shares for free to shareholders in place of cash, because at this point the company needs all the cash to be able to ramp up their activities both in the upstream and downstream. So naturally, when people get stock dividend, they feel like, oh, this is free lunches. The company has given me, I have 1 million units of their shares. They've given me 200,000 for free. Let me go and enjoy this money. I cannot kill myself. That's the feeling. And once they are selling off the shares that way, the shares will tend to drop down. But give a few moments, a few weeks or months, people who understand investing will know that this is the best time to not just hold on to your shares, but also even invest more. Again, remember that the second batch of that stock dividend will happen June 30. So if you hold on a little while, you will have more bonus. Don't go selling out the one you have, because you're going to get more by June 30 if you meet your deadline because those who are in the books, as at the close of book by June 30, will get even more. They only gave 641 million. In February, they're going to give another 641 million in June 30, and that will only come for those who are holding on to their shares. And beyond that, when they finish this script issue, the real business is going to start both in Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, they already started ramping up the asset use in Nigeria. What's going to happen? The amount of revenue, in fact, already all the factors, all the parameters are looking up. Revenue is going up, hugely, from their upstream activity, and of course, profitability is also ramping up. What do you judge when you want to buy a company's shares? You look at the future cash inflows. That's why I'm saying, when investors have a long-term view, you find that Oando is a stock that will do wonders in the future. So holding on to it will, be a great advantage to those who hold on, who buy right now or who hold on right now.
Okay, but Mr. Demeze, for those who are not investors in Oando, we are concerned about the price at the pump. We are concerned about the availability of petroleum products in the country. Oando is also a player in this. What goodies or largesse can we expect from them? Because it's not just about the stock market.
With their stepping up beyond Nigeria to African stage, and of course the Caribbean, you find that they're going to command bigger respect. They're going to close bigger deals that of course will improve their business even down here in Nigeria. So I believe that once the level playing ground is established here, they will do more business and earn more. And that's why I'm saying that for those who invest in the company, the future is very bright. And the price of a stock today should be what you call in finance the present value of the cumulative future inflows, which if you factor in what it's going to be, the price today should be much more than what it is right now. But let me not people have to decide to invest, how they want to invest.
Yes, exactly.
But Oando for me is making Nigeria and Africa very proud. And I'm looking for money seriously. I should be able to invest as quickly as possible.
All right, Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Flame Academy and Consulting Limited, Mr. Ojidemezue, thank you so much.
Always my pleasure. Thanks so much, Ini.
Good to have you.
You guys are doing so well here.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Once in a while, call us to enjoy this money with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ojidemezue. All right, so outside the oil and gas right there, the NCC, the Nigerian Communications Commission, they say they are determined to ensure that internet connectivity goes to the unserved and underserved. And that was the crux of the matter at their latest meeting, which was held in Lagos.